Excuse me, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed your coffee break. Now we will have the presentation Run Plone Containers on Your Own Cluster with coolify.io by Freddy.
So, I won't introduce myself anymore. This is the third talk of the week. My name is Fred van Dijk. I work for Kit Concept, and I had planned to show you exactly how you can run your Plone containers on Coolify. The problem is I had hoped to set it up, but I ran out of time before our vacation started in Brazil and then preparing during PloneConf. And second, I realized being in this situation, I saw an opportunity by talking to people this week that there's a larger challenge that we have in our community. So I will talk about Coolify, I will promote it, I will explain what it is. But at home, I will create a setup and then create a blog post and post that somewhere else and really show you the configuration. So what is the problem? The problem here is that we have, since 2022, we have been discussing and actually implementing default examples for how to run Plone in containers, because running applications and application stacks in containers is the future, or actually better isolation and abstraction is the future, and the current state of containerization is the current phase that we're in. And the problem there is that containerization is another abstraction and challenging to learn and to use. And of course, we call this system administration, we call it DevOps, which was just a nice trick to lure developers into doing system administration, but still, it's challenging. So, a little bit of history. I'm the Plone Foundation AI team lead. Who made this up, by the way? You did, Paul? The AI team lead? Yeah, so we're a small team, me, Paul, Kim, Erico, and we've been running the Plone Foundation servers and websites, assisting other teams with setup, CI/CD. We're managing the GitHub configuration. We run the Matomo stuff. So yeah, quite a bit of cat herding. I had very little time for that for the last 6 months because of work or any community work, but still things kept running. We did the minimal effort, and we're all senior sysadmins, so works out fine. When the whole community was working towards releasing Plone 6 in 2022, somewhere the year we also decided to provide containerization examples and how to do that better in an open source Plone community by eating your own dog food. So if you look online at the GitHub repositories, we have plone.org, we have 2024 ploneconf.org. All of our website setups are done with containerization. The examples are there. We use varying versions of Cookie Cutter. We should move them somewhere to Cookie Plone next year. And in 2022, Docker Swarm was maybe already on its way out as the cool kid. Kubernetes was kind of the cool teenager kid and young adult. But for us still, when we look at stuff, Docker Swarm was easier. And it has most of the container concepts. So you can use Docker Swarm or Docker Compose. You get the container concepts. And for us, the most important part was having the application in a container. And then whichever container management platform or configuration platform you use, that's of lesser importance. And you can decide it in your own organization, in your own company, or nowadays your customers have a kind of preference, or they have something already running, hopefully. So, Erico was setting up a Docker Swarm solution for a customer. I did the same with him for the Plone Foundation setup. We had this nice exchange all the time with, oh, look at this option. Okay, why is it crashing again? And we found out Docker Swarm has its limitations, but at least, like I said, our Plone org applications and the examples were containerized. But you can swap it out for Kubernetes or any other container management solution later. So that's why we have these examples there, and that's also why if you go online, you can check out those examples. Bit further plugging, check out Erico's DevOps training from this year with the new Cookie Plone setup, but which also still uses Docker Compose, Docker Swarm. I did a presentation last year at PloneConf to show how the Plone community does all this stuff. I showed this repositories. Last year, David Glick showed the setup that DLR is using generalized. So all those videos are on the YouTube PloneConf channel. And especially rewatch this year's Plone on Kubernetes talk by Fabiano Weimar. I have no clue, but I am absolutely sure it's good, but I have to rewatch it myself because at the same time I was giving another presentation in another room talking about conflict of interest. So Kubernetes is high on our wish list of technologies to master and also provide examples for the community. Beginning of this year, we had a Plone Tagung in Germany, where I also gave an introduction to containers. And oh, I forgot it. Thomas Shore did a talk in German on Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is high on our wish list to also provide information for. But this is an open source community, and we also need people doing this stuff. So if you have some experience with Kubernetes and you want to help out, we are gladly to have that help. So what is the challenging subject I'd like to talk about? Doing DevOps and doing system administration well is hard. And sysadmins are this special breed of human beings that have to be both very risk averse and at the same time be very curious and experimental with new technology. And that's a total conflict. You want to provide stability, you want to be efficient, you have an annoyingly large workload, you deal with challenging demands from customers and your CEOs, and you still have to keep on learning to keep up with the Joneses and keeping up with what's new on managing servers. So, audience time. Who in the room considers himself to be a sysadmin? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Who in the room has trained colleagues to do system administration and/or DevOps? That's scary because you're a very good front-end developer, and he is doing the system administration, and you are training your colleagues. Do you want to talk about it, Mauro? Last question: who trusts their colleagues to take over all their system administration duties? That's me, yes, thank you, Maurits. Okay. Yeah, okay, we've been colleagues for 17 years now. Okay, so this is a bit of the challenge that we have. Many aspiring sysadmins, as soon as you train them a bit and they start getting the hang of it, they discover it's not really their vocation. So the solution is that we kind of keep doing the stuff while our hairs are slowly getting grayer and then whiter. And we automate our way out of it, making things either or more efficient and even more complex. Or the other solution is that we buy or rent expensive SaaS solutions from cloud providers so that we can click and point ourselves to somewhere and then explain to our colleagues that they only have to click and point on the wrong buttons to completely wipe the whole system. So this is why I still want to plug and tell about Coolify. Coolify is a full open source product that kind of provides you with an open source free web console to run your containers managed. And it's not only just starting a container, it also has like these templates for well-known applications, or it also adds monitoring, basic, but it has log support. So it's kind of has a kind of built-in monitoring solution. And the main developer really believes in open source and hates pay by usage cloud providers with a vengeance. His name is Andres Baskai. He's from Hungary. And when I saw this for the first time, I was like, okay, this is a way out of my developer colleagues will run away screaming when I try to get them into DevOps. Because it's free, it's open, and they can at least slowly go into it, because it's still really hard. So, Coolify, it's created by one guy. He still has it open source. Who knows about the term enshittification? Okay, look it up, because what happens is that with many cool open source projects that starts, at one time they get venture capital or some other thing, or they are bought out, or they get burned out with what they're doing, so they join a company, and then the open source solution is either commercialized or it kind of dwindles out or whatever. I have really good hope with this guy that this will stay for a while. And this is what I've been doing for a while now, yes, using and finding open source solutions that facilitate this container management. And it will allow your colleagues to start, restart, and handle most of the day-to-day workloads. So check this out. Like I said, I want to provide, look if I can provide a Plone template that is available in Coolify, and get this stuff rolling. Like I said, but well, this is actually what I just said. So this is just for the documentation of the sheets, if you want to read along. We have this bigger problem in our companies and community. One of the things is that Coolify, and I typed out IRC, but I found a quote from Andras on GitHub from 2021. Coolify still only Docker Swarm, but we have this other, not now cool kit, but grown-up container management solution, Kubernetes, and we also want Kubernetes support. I talked with Mauro. They have been looking at Returtle at Rancher, which does support Kubernetes, and there might be other cool open source tools with which you can also do this. Whatever, we still need system administrators. I mean, somebody will still have to install Coolify. Somebody will still have to install and update the servers on which the containers are running. Who will do that? Who will update it? Then you need to add maybe more observability, monitoring, etc., etc., etc. So when I was at the Salamina sprint in Ferrara 7-8 weeks ago, I chatted with Mauro and I chatted with Stefano from Returtle, and there was one of their colleagues was also at the table Friday evening, last day of the sprint, and we got talking about DevOps. And we said, yeah, I'm a backender. I like this sysadmin stuff, but junior. And I was like, okay, one of my colleagues also said that to me 2 months ago, that he wants more information. So I was thinking, okay, 1 + 1 + me, that's 10. So I'd like to organize an online Plone community DevOps training somewhere January, March 2025. I'll run it together with some help of other senior Plonistas, if they can contribute parts. And I just want to find out, okay, who else is interested in this or has interested colleagues, friends in the Plone community, who want to start the journey into sysadmin and DevOps. No obligations, but you know what happens if you're in a beer garden, then suddenly you're in the board for 13 years, so who knows. 4-6 meetings, 2 hours, we'll find a Friday afternoon maybe, and then just talk through DevOps and sysadmin concepts, show Docker Swarm, see what we have with Kubernetes, play with Coolify, other concepts, maybe 6-10 people max. And that's it. Any questions? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes. There you are. Oh, but the sheet will go online and I can just send you in, I think, a marketing team channel this afternoon. Yeah, it's also a kind of guinea pig idea because we exchange information on Plone comms. We try to exchange information on sprints, but sprints are actually meant to get stuff done for Plone the product and Plone the community and other things. So why don't we organize some meetings now and then if we see that people have interest? And this is, I just plugged this but some of my colleagues already suggested that we should also do this for other subjects. If we find people interested, organize these small meetings where we say, look, 4 to 5 to 6 meetings. The most difficult part will probably be time zones, finding the right people, and making sure that the video doesn't drop out all the time.
Por quê? Porque algo que
I think we have some other microphone channels connected to the... My microphone is on frequency 682.1. Yeah, let's see who is. But we have this. This is a concept that we should try to get first. See how this goes. If we can find people and do these kind of mini tutorials in a kind of a mentoring, coaching. So, any other questions? Then, we can also make this now an open space for the time we have left to share some other sysadmin and DevOps things, to discuss challenges, other things. Any questions in general on DevOps, on sysadmin, things you're wondering about? Okay, class dismissed. Thank you very much. And spread the word, please. So if you have any colleagues, whatever, ask them if they want to do DevOps. I'll post something on communityplone.org in 2 weeks, and we'll see when we can get this started.